Hello and welcome to another episode of Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman. For this episode, I'm going to talk about the Academy Awards and the Golden Raspberry Awards. Now, just to let everybody know, this is for the nominations, as the ceremony for both of these shows will be coming up. Although most notably the Academy Awards will take place on March 10th of 2024, while the Razzies, aka the Golden Raspberry Awards, will they're gonna have their ceremony on March 9th of 2024. Although the Golden Raspberries, they never aired the Golden Raspberries. I mean, obviously for I don't know the reason behind it. I don't know the reason behind why they don't air the Golden Raspberries, but I guess that's their thing, so whatever. But as for the Academy Awards, I mean, obviously they're gonna air the Academy Awards, and that will be on ABC. And the 96th Academy Awards will be on March 10th, 2024 on ABC. And yes, I'm going to talk about both the Oscars and the Razzies. Now, originally, I was going to split this episode into two, but I decided to, let me talk about the both. But the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to talk about the Oscars first and the Razzies second. And this is all for the nominations. So I'm going to be talking about the Oscar nominations and the Razzie nominations for 2024. So why not start off with the Oscar nominations for the 96 Academy Awards? Now, just to get a little background, the ceremony will be televised on ABC in the United States, and of course, comedian Jimmy Kimmel will host the show for the fourth time following the 2017, 2018, and 2023 ceremonies. And of course, the nominations were announced on January 23rd, 2024, with Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer leading the ceremony with 13 nominations, followed by Poor Things and Killers of the Flower Moon with 11 and 10 Oscar nominations. So, with that being said, let me dive on into the nominees themselves. So, starting with the first category will be Best Picture. The films that are nominated for Best Picture are American Fiction, Anatomy of the Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Now, I don't know which film is going to win. I think some people are saying that Oppenheimer is the front runner for the Best Picture win. I can possibly see that. I mean, come on. I mean, the movie Oppenheimer, it's a real good. It's a real good movie. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a 3 hour movie, but it's still a pretty good. It's still a pretty good movie. It's basically It's basically telling the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer. Basically, his life story, where he started in his younger days, leading up to his college days, and of course the build up to the atomic bomb, and then of course his hearing case as well. I mean, of course, you also have. I mean, with Christopher Nolan at the forefront, it is. I could definitely. That could be a possible win. I mean, come on, with Christopher Nolan, when you have a film that is directed by Christopher Nolan, it's gonna be good. I mean, sure, yeah, Christopher Nolan has had a couple. Christopher Nolan had a couple of films where it didn't go as well, but Christopher Nolan has put out some very good films, and Oppenheimer is one of them. Now, of course, Oppenheimer going up against Barbie. I mean, Barbie, you got David Heyman, Margot Robbie, Tom Ackerley, and Robbie Brenner. as producers of Barbie, they're nominated for Barbie. But I'm just gonna say this: I don't think Barbie's gonna win the Best Picture win. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not gonna win. I mean, yes, I mean Barbie and Oppenheimer, they had a huge cultural phenomenon, but I got a feeling Oppenheimer might take the win. Sure, yeah. I mean, true, yeah. I mean, that could be true. American Fiction, Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers could be, could be taking home a win, but you never know. But we'll never know until the ceremony commences. Oh, and Maestro. I haven't seen Maestro yet. I heard a lot of good things about it too. Bradley Cooper playing Maestro, Leonard Bernstein with Steven Spielberg as producer. That may sound like a good film. I mean, I heard some good things about it. I gotta check that out one of these days. But anyway, let's move on to Best Director. So for Best Director, you got Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. As going back to Christopher Nolan, I gotta say, I think Christopher Nolan is I say Christopher Nolan should I believe Christopher Nolan's gonna win Best Director. I mean, many of Christopher Nolan's films have been nominated for multiple Oscars. I mean for a film like Oppenheimer, I mean he's nominated for Best Director, and this is his second Oscar. This is his second nomination as director. Like he was nominated three times for Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Picture, and Best Director for Oppenheimer. I mean, sure, yeah, his films such as Memento, Inception, and Dunkirk were also nominated for Oscars, for most notably for writing, directing, and producing as well. So there is a high chance that Christopher Nolan may win Best Director. I mean, sure, yeah, you got Martin Scorsese too. Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon. I mean, let's be honest. At age 81, Martin Scorsese, the film's director, earned his 10th nomination for Best Director, garnering more Oscar nominations for that category, including one prior win than anyone alive. And Scorsese also became the oldest Best Director nominee, eclipsing John Huston, who was 79. And John Huston received his final Best Director nomination for Prizzi's Honor, which came out in 1985. I believe Christopher Nolan might take home the win for Best Director. Like a lot of people are saying that Christopher Nolan may win. He won the Golden Globe for Best Director at the Golden Globes in the drama category. So there's a high chance he might win Best Director. I mean, who knows? I could be wrong, but we'll never know until the ceremony commences. But anyway, moving forward to the acting categories. For Best Actor, the nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. We got some competition here, folks, like Bradley Cooper for Maestro as Leonard Bernstein. That actually sounds awesome. Although Cillian Murphy going up against Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, that is going to be a tough competition. Although a lot of people are saying that Cillian Murphy might win for Best Actor. I mean, both Paul Giamatti and Cillian Murphy both won Golden Globes. So it is a tough competition to see who's going to win for Best Actor. But anyway, we're going to move forward to the Best Actress category. The nominees for Best Actress are Annette Bening for Nyad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Holler for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone are both going up against each other for Best Actress. I mean, Emma Stone for Poor Things. I mean, I haven't seen Poor Things nor Killers of the Flower Moon, but it's going to be pretty tough competition. And I think a lot of people are saying Lily Gladstone might win for Best Actress. And of course, Lily Gladstone became the first Native American to win the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. And she's nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actress, and she's going up against Emma Stone. it's gonna be a tough competition. It's I mean they're both going up against each other, so who knows? I think a lot of people are saying Lily Gladstone might win, but who knows? We'll see who's good. We'll see who's gonna win. Now we move over to Best Supporting Actor. Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction. Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon. Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. Ryan Gosling for Barbie. And Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. Hey, Iron Man and the Hulk, together at last, nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Well, if there's one thing I gotta say, I say Robert Downey Jr. I say Robert Downey Jr. might take home the win. Robert Downey Jr. playing Louis Strauss was he did a fantastic job. Like Louis Strauss, he is literally the driving force behind the controversial hearings of physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, and of course, regarded as a villain in American history. Robert Downey Jr. playing one of American history's biggest villains, like like Louis Strauss. Sure, Louis Strauss is not the biggest villain in American history, but he is one. But he is one of them. And literally, Robert Downey Jr. did a fantastic job playing Louis Strauss. I could definitely see him going for the win. Of course, obviously you got Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things as Duncan Wedderburn. Although I have not seen Poor Things. Ryan Gosling as Ken, I'm going to be honest with you. Ryan Gosling was the highlight as Ken in Barbie. You could definitely tell Ryan Gosling was having a lot of fun. And of course, Ken turning Barbie Land into Ken Land. That was so funny. That's just funny. Then, of course, you got Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction and Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon. Not much to say. Not much to say here, but moving forward, we move forward to the Best Supporting Actress category. Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I believe America Ferrera got nominated because of that one scene in Barbie. You know, like the scene where she goes up there to cheer Barbie up. America Ferrera plays Gloria, and she tries to cheer Barbie up with this motivational speech about society's conflicting expectations of women, which restored Barbie's self-confidence. Like, I believe the Academy nominated America Ferrera just because of that one scene. Now, I don't know who's going to win in that category. I think some people are saying Davine Joy Randolph might win. That is a possibility. She was good. She was very good in The Holdovers, and I actually like The Holdovers. I saw the film. I thought The Holdovers was pretty good. And I thought Davine Joy Randolph's performance in The Holdovers was pretty good, too. Like I said, I don't know who's going to win for Best Supporting Actress, but as of now, we're going to move forward to Best Original Screenplay. For Best Original Screenplay, Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. We're going to move forward to Best Adapted Screenplay. We got American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Now, for Best Adapted Screenplay, it's going to be hard to say which one's going to win. You got Barbie and Oppenheimer on the Best Adapted Screenplay nomination list. Or should I say Barbenheimer? Barbie, you got Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, based on characters created by Ruth Handler. Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, based on the biography American Prometheus by Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin. And then, of course, you got Poor Things and The Zone of Interest. I don't really know right here. It is going to be a tough competition for Barbenheimer. Barbie, maybe? I don't know. Barbie could win Best Adapted Screenplay, or maybe Oppenheimer. I think Oppenheimer might win. It is hard to say. But anyway, we're going to move forward to Best Animated Feature category. We got The Boy and the Heron by Hayao Miyazaki and Toshio Suzuki. Elemental, Peter Son and Denise Ream. Nimona, Nick Bruno. Troy Kwani, Karen Ryan, and Julie Zachary. Robot Dreams, Pablo Berger, Iban Cormenzana, Ignacy Estapi, and Sandra Tapia Diaz. And then, of course, you got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Kemp Powers, Justin K. Thompson, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and Amy Pascal. Okay, right out of the gate, Elemental is not gonna win. I'm just throwing it out there. Elemental is not going to win. I mean, just recently, Elemental has become it because just recently Elemental has reached the $500 million mark. It made over $511.4 million on a budget of $200 million. However, the film itself was considered to be a sleeper hit. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to make its money back on time because the film was released on June 16th of 2023. So technically, the film was a hit, but unfortunately for the movie itself, it was still considered to be a bomb at the time. Although I do give the film credit for being a sleeper hit, so I'll give the film that. But I have not seen Elemental. I heard things of this movie. I consider Elemental to be a film that is late to the party. I mean, let's be honest. Elemental is just a ripoff of Zootopia and Osmosis Jones and Inside Out as well. Like I'm just gonna say it right. I'm just gonna say it right there. I haven't seen the movie. I heard some things about the movie, but other than that, I'm sorry, but Elemental won't win. Now I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. I mean, and sure, yeah, I am definitely wrong on some things, including predictions as well for many for the award show as I mentioned in some of my previous episodes. But who knows? But in my opinion, I don't think Elemental is gonna win. Now, for The Boy and the Heron and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, those are the two heavy hitters right there. Like those are the two heavy hitters: Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy and the Heron. Boy and the Heron, which is basically a Japanese anime written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki and produced by Studio Ghibli, based on and of course is based on the 1937 novel of the same name. And of course, though of course briefly appears in the film, but the film has an original story that is not connected to the novel, and was actually and was actually and of course the story this of course the story is basically during the Pacific takes place during the Pacific War, where a boy discovers an abandoned tower in his new town after his mother's death and enters a fantastical world with a talking gray heron. So, and that being said, Hayao Miyazaki has made some of the greatest Japanese anime films of all time, including Spirited Away, which actually became the first Japanese anime film to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature Film. Like like Spirited Away Spirited Away was also the second animated feature film to win in the Best Animated Feature Film category, and that was in 2000 and that was during the Oscars 2000 that was during the 2003 Oscars. So there is a possibility that The Boy and the Heron might win the Oscar. It won the Golden Globe for Best Animated Feature Film, so there's a possibility it could win Best Animated Feature Film at the Oscars. However, however, it does. However, that may not be the case because there are some animated movies where the same movie did not win for an Oscar, like for example, like during the 2015 Golden Globes, How to Train Your Dragon 2 won Best Animated Feature Film, but unfortunately during the 2015 Oscars, Big Hero 6, which was from Disney, won Best Animated Feature Film. And then of course there was another film, The Missing Link, which won the Golden Globe at the 2020 Golden Globes, but Toy Story 4 won Best Animated Feature Film at the 2020 Oscars. But of course, last year, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio won Best Animated Feature Film at the Golden Globes, including the Oscars as well. So, there might be a little change to that. But what about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Could Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse win Best Animated Feature Film? I mean, there is a possibility right there. I mean, I haven't seen The Boy and the Heron, but both of these films, they are I heard both of these films, let's be honest, they're both amazing in their own rights. Like the animation themselves, like it is cinematic. It's literally cinematic. Both of these films are like both of these films going up against each other. Like as crazy as it is, but you gotta admit, the animation is cinematic. Even Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, like some of the best animation I have ever seen put together on screen. And let me tell you this, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse beats out Elemental and Disney's Wish. Enough said right there. It is hard to tell which film will win Best Animated Feature Film, Boy and the Heron or Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We'll see once the Oscars commence. But other than that, moving forward to Best International Feature Film, otherwise known as Best Foreign Language Film, you got Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of the Snow from Spain, The Teachers, the Teachers Lounge for Germany, and The Zone of Interest for the United Kingdom. Now we move forward to Best Documentary Feature Film. You got Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol. For Best Documentary Short Film, The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and 99 and Y Po. Now we move forward to Best Live Action Short Film. We have The After, Invisible, King of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, and the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. Now, what's actually interesting about the wonderful story of Henry Sugar is that it's actually directed by Wes Anderson and is actually based on the story by Roald Dahl, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. So that's actually interesting. And what's more interesting is that Wes Anderson is nominated for Best Live Action Short Film. He's been nominated for multiple Oscars too. I mean, he was nominated for Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox, but also Moonrise Kingdom and The Grand Budapest Hotel. And of course, nominated for Best Live Action Short Film. I don't know which Best Live Action Short Film is going to win, but we'll see. But as of now, let's move forward to Best Animated Short Film. You got Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, and War is Over, inspired by music of John and Yoko. Now we move forward to Best Original Score. You got American Fiction, composed by Laura Karpman, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny by John Williams, Killers of the Flower Moon by Robbie Robertson, Oppenheimer by Ludwig Göransson, and Poor Things by Jerskin Fendrix. Okay, first of all, Robbie Robertson, rest in peace. He is posthumously nominated for Best Original Score for Killers of the Flower Moon. And Robbie Robertson has collaborated with Martin Scorsese on multiple films. And then, of course, Robbie Robertson was a lead guitarist for Bob Dylan in the mid late 1960s and early mid 1970s. Like, he is a guitarist and songwriter for a band called The Band from their inception until 1978, and a solo artist. So rest in peace to Robbie Robertson. Now moving forward to the other composers for Best Original Score. First of all, John Williams. Is there anything to say about John Williams? John Williams, like, he has composed a lot of great music compositions for movies, Indiana Jones being one of them. Congratulations to John Williams for being nominated for Best Original Score. Speaking of which, John Williams is 91 years old, and he has extended his Oscar nominations. Like, his record for the most Oscar nominations, 54 nominations for any living person. That is amazing right there for John Williams. Now, of course, going to Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson. Like, I gotta be honest with you, this is Ludwig Göransson's third Oscar nomination overall, but this is his second Oscar nomination for Best Original Score. Like, he won the Oscar for Black Panther for Best Original Score. Like, the music for Black Panther was great. Like, his theme, the entrance to Wakanda, literally amazing. Like, it is so good. Like, I can get the rhythm out of that. Dun 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 dun. Like, you get that whole rhythm and vibe to the entrance of Wakanda that Ludwig Göransson put together. Like, it is amazing. Literally love the music. I mean, also him being nominated for Best Original Song, because he was nominated last year for Best Original Song for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and the song was Lift Me Up, and it was performed by Rihanna. Speaking of Marvel, Laura Carpman also wrote music for Marvel as well. Like, she wrote the music, like, she composed the music for the Marvels, and it's nice that Laura Carpman got an Oscar nomination for American Fiction. I'm sorry, the music for the Marvels was not that great. I do not like some of the song choices for the Marvels. I mean, I know Laura Carpman did not select any of the songs. I mean, oh boy, especially for that. What was that music? What was that one song that was used during the action during that action sequence at Kamala Khan's house? Oh, what is it? Oh, what? I mean, what? What? But Laura Carpenter. I mean, I will say this: the music wasn't the composition score for the Marvels. I'm sorry, it was not that memorable. But at least Laura Carpenter was able to compose the music for American Fiction. So I'll give her credit for that. So anyway, that being said, we're gonna move forward to Best Original Song. You got "The Fired Inside" from Flaming Hot, music and lyrics by Diana Warren. "I'm Just Ken" from Barbie, music and lyrics by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. "It Never Went Away" from American Symphony, music and lyrics by John Batiste and Dan Wilson. "A Song for My People" from Killers of the Flower Moon, music and lyrics by Scott George. And "What Was I Made For" from Barbie, music and lyrics by Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell. Okay, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, and I understand this is gonna be a controversial thing, but "What I Was Made For," I didn't think it was that memorable of a song. It really wasn't as memorable as "I'm Just Ken" or some of the other songs in the Barbie movie, to be honest. Like, and look, respect to Phineas O'Connell and Billie Eilish. I believe, in my opinion, they wrote a good song, but it wasn't as memorable. It wasn't as memorable. I mean, I understand where they're going, what they were trying to aim for, but let's be honest, "I'm Just Ken" for the win. Like, when a lot of people went to see the Barbie movie, whether they like it or not, um, they literally remember the Ken song. Like, "I'm just Ken, everywhere else I be a 10. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of blind fragility?" You get it? You know that? You get it? The song "I'm Just Ken"? That is obviously the most memorable song from this movie. Like, come on. Like, "I'm Just Ken" beats out every other song from the Barbie movie. And let's be honest, the "I'm Just Ken" won the Critics' Choice Awards at the 29th Critics' Choice Awards, and I was being nominated for Best Original Song, going up against "What I Was Made For" from the Barbie movie as well. Like, it's gonna be a tough competition. It's gonna be a tough competition. Like, I don't know which song's gonna win. I mean, I don't know which song's gonna win. It's hard to say. I mean, right now you got "What I Was Made For" and "I'm Just Ken" both nominated for Best Original Song at the Oscars. So we'll see what's gonna happen. As of now, moving forward, for Best Sound, The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. I will say this: Mission Impossible it's about time Mission Impossible got nominated for an Oscar. Last year, Top Gun Maverick won the Oscar for Best Sound, and it was also nominated for other categories as well, including Best Visuals and Best Picture. And and now Mission Impossible being nominated for an Oscar for Best Sound. Where the hell was that? Where the hell was that for the other Mission Impossible films? Sure, Mission Impossible, they have their flaws. They had their flaws in their movies, but some of their most recent movies, like from the third one all the way up to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, like those movies, I say they deserve Oscar nominations for best sound, best visuals, best score. Hell, where were those nominations, huh? Huh? Where were those nominations? Huh? But I'm actually glad. I'm actually glad Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning got nominated for an Oscar. That is actually great. Now, would it win the Oscar? I'm not really sure. It's going up against The Creator, which is basically a sci-fi movie directed by Gareth Edwards, who you may know Gareth Edwards for directing Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and the Godzilla movie that came out in 2014. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, it's also going up against Oppenheimer. I mean, it's got some competition right there. Also, while I'm at it on the subject of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, it was actually called Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One. Just recently, they just dropped the Part One title for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, so it's now referred to as Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Just to let you all know. All right, moving forward. For Best Production Design, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I think Barbie's got a high chance for winning Best Production Design. Let's be honest. The production design for Barbie is amazing. Like it actually looks like it actually looks like you're actually playing inside an actual Barbie dollhouse. If you know what I'm saying. Like you look at that film. The production design of this film is amazing. It looks like an actual toy set, an actual Barbie set. It looks so good. It looks so good and well put together as well. If you know what I'm saying. But anyway, moving forward, best cinematography. You got El Condi, Edward Lockman, Killers of the Flower Moon, Rodrigo Prieto, Maestro Matthew Libatique, Oppenheimer, Hoyt von Hoytima, and Poor Things, Robbie Ryan. I got a feeling Oppenheimer might win for best cinematography. I mean, is there anything to say about Christopher Nolan and the cinematography that he uses in his movies? Like, is there anything to say about that? Like the cinematography for a lot of Christopher Nolan movies, they're great. They're absolutely amazing. But anyway, moving forward, best makeup and hairstyling. Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. Moving forward to best costume design. Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I think Barbie might win Best Costume Design, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things. They all got shots too, but you never know. But anyway, moving forward to Best Film Editing, you got Killers of the Flower Moon, The Holdovers, Anatomy of a Fall, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I don't know which film will win Best Film Editing, but we gotta move forward to the last category for Best Visual Effects. Now, Best Visual Effects is obviously a category where there's a lot of competition. Sure, yeah, all the other categories have competition as well, but for Best Visual Effects, it is a category where it's got a lot of competition too. Sure, and as I mentioned, there are other categories that do have huge competition as well, but so does Best Visual Effects. So let's talk about it. You got The Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and Napoleon. Boy, oh boy. We got competition here, folks. Godzilla Minus One and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. They're basically the first films. They got a nomination. They both got a nomination. I think Godzilla Minus One, it might win Best Visual Effects. I haven't seen Godzilla Minus One, but from what I heard, it is an amazing Godzilla movie. Now, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I think like I don't think it's gonna win. I think it might win Best Sound, but it's got a tough competition with Godzilla minus one, and so does the creator. So does the creator, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, in my opinion, like it is the best Marvel movie to come out of Phase 5, and it beats out the Marvels and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, obviously, come on, it's James Gunn. He's gonna write out. He's gonna direct and write a good Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But sure, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 does have its fair share of flaws, but it's still a good movie. Plus, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has the best visual effects in Phase 5 compared to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Marvels. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 beats out the Marvels and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, it is a tough competition. It is a tough competition. I say the top three are the creator, Godzilla minus one, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It is going to be a tough one to see which film's going to win Best Visual Effects. And anyway, that is it. That is the nominations. And of course, the films with multiple nominations. Oppenheimer came out on top with 13 nominations. Poor Things with 11 nominations. Killers of the Flower Moon with 10 nominations. Barbie with 8 nominations. Maestro with 7 nominations. American Fiction with 5, including Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, and The Zone of Interest. Napoleon with 3 nominations. The Creator, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Naiad, Past Lives, and Society of the Snow with 2 nominations. So, those are the nominations for the 96th Academy Awards, and that ceremony will commence on March 10th, 2024 on ABC. And now we go to the worst of the worst, which is the Razzies, or should I say, the 44th Golden Raspberry Award nominations. Now, now we have a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that actually got nominated for four Razzies, and that will be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and it earned the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first ever Razzie nominations, overshadowing the success of other Marvel Cinematic Universe films in 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy got nominated for an Oscar, so now Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania got nominated for 4 Razzies. Huh. Tough luck for the Marvels, I guess. I guess the Walt Disney Company called the Golden Raspberries over, told them, "Hey, Golden Raspberries, take Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Just don't take the Marvels." And then I think the Raspberries was like, "Okay, that's a fair deal." But anyway, let's list down the movies that were nominated for a gold. Let's list down the movies that were nominated for the Golden Raspberries. Now you got The Exorcist, Believer, Expendables 4, Meg 2, The Trench, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and while it is not a great sequel to the first Shazam movie, it wasn't even that bad of a movie. Sure, yeah, it's not a great sequel, but it wasn't even that bad. Is it really? Is it really the worst movie? No. I mean, let's be honest. Shazam, Fury of the Gods was actually better than the Marvels and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, in my opinion. And then for worst director, you got Reese Frake Waterfield for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Eh, well, I guess Disney's expiration date didn't go over too well for them, huh? I guess Steamboat Willie's next. Oh wait, I guess Steamboat Willie will be turned into a film pretty soon from a different company. Then you got David Gordon Green for The Exorcist, Believer, to which David Gordon Green did the Halloween movie reboots that came out in 2018, 2021, and 2022. And then Peyton Reed's nominated for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I don't know why. Peyton. I don't think Peyton. Peyton Reed's not a bad director. Like, sure, yeah, the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania wasn't as great. There were moments in them. It had its moments, But Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I don't think it deserved the Razzie for worst director. I mean, Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed. I don't know. I don't think Peyton Reed deserved the award. Now you also got Scott Wong for Expendables 4 and Ben Wheatley for Meg 2: The Trench. Now we move forward to Worst Actor. Russell Crowe for The Pope's Exorcist, Vin Diesel for Fast X, Chris Evans for Ghosted, Jason Statham for Meg 2: The Trench, and Jon Voight for Mercy. Why is Vin Diesel nominated for Worst Actor? I mean, sure, yeah, sure, yeah, the Fast and Furious franchise has probably run this course, but come on, man. I mean, come on. Vin Diesel nominated for Worst Actor for Fast X. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know about the other actors too. I mean, let's be honest. Jason Statham was in the Fast and Furious movies too. I mean, Jason Statham is good on his own. Yeah. But anyway, we move forward to Worst Actress. You got Ana de Armas for Ghosted, Megan Fox for Johnny and Clyde, Salma Hayek for Magic Mike's Last Dance, Jennifer Lopez for The Mother, and Helen Mirren for Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Helen Mirren was actually pretty good in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I think it's just more on the writing. Like I liked Helen Mirren. Why is Helen Mirren nominated for a Golden Raspberry, huh? I mean, come on, man. I mean, I like Helen Mirren. Sure, yeah. Sure, yeah. Sure, yeah. Her character may not be as memorable as Dr. Savannah from the first Shazam movie. You know, Dr. Savannah being played by Mark Strong. But I mean, you got Helen Mirren. You got Helen Mirren playing Hespera from Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I mean, I liked Helen Mirren. I thought she was okay. I thought she was fine in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. But anyway, moving forward to Worst Supporting Actor. You got Michael Douglas and Bill Murray nominated for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I think Michael Douglas and Bill Murray are good actors on their own. It's just more on the writing. Now that I think about it, why didn't the Marvels get nominated for Razzies? Why didn't the Marvels? How come the Marvels didn't get nominated? I mean, Bill Murray was in the movie for about 5 minutes, and I thought he was fine in that movie. And Michael Douglas, I thought Michael Douglas was fine, but I feel like he got overshadowed in that movie. And then you got Mel Gibson for Confidential Informant, which I'm pretty. Yeah, you got Mel Gibson for Confidential Informant. Then you got Franco Nero for the Pope's Exorcist, and Sylvester Stallone for the Expendables 4. I've not seen Expendables 4, but I don't know if I want to watch it. But anyway, I don't know if I want to watch it. Maybe somewhere down the line I might, but you never know. But anyway, moving forward to Worst Supporting Actress. You got Kim Cattrall for About My Father, Megan Fox for Expendables 4. Wow, Megan Fox got two Razzie nominations. Bai Ling for Johnny and Clyde, Lucy Liu for Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and Mary Stuart Masterson for Five Nights at Freddy's. But anyway, moving forward, worst screen combo: any two merciless mercenaries. Oh my goodness, for Expendables 4, any two money grubby investors who donated to the $400 million for remake rights to The Exorcist for Exorcist Believer. That sounds accurate right there. Ana de Armas and Chris Evans, who messed up their screen chemistry for Ghosted, Salma Hayek and Channing Tatum for Magic Mike's Last Dance, and Pooh and Piglet as bloodthirsty slasher killers for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Actually, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey is basically an independent film. Why isn't it? I mean, why isn't it independent? Why is there an independent film nominated for a Golden Raspberry? I mean, sure, yeah, you had independent movies being nominated for Oscars, but why Golden Raspberry? What is up with that? But I don't know. I think I think Disney just called the Razzies over and I think the Disney's called the Razzies over and told them like, hey, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Hungry, nominate those movies for Razzies. Dude, Disney, you lost the rights to Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Just saying, you lost the rights to Steamboat Willie as well. You know, it's called public domain for a reason, right? But anyway, moving forward, obviously, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is nominated for worst remake, ripoff, or sequel, and so is The Expendables 4, The Exorcist Believer, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and of course Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which actually they labeled it as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Still Being a Dead Horse. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's be honest. I enjoyed I had fun watching Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I had a lot of fun with it, but in my opinion, it was my second least. It's my second least favorite Indiana Jones movie aside from Temple of Doom. A lot of people said Temple of Doom is the least liked of the Indiana Jones movies, even though a lot of people said Indiana Jones Crystal Skull is the worst of the Indiana Jones movies. In my opinion, I don't think so. Sure, yeah, Crystal Skull's got flaws, but I enjoyed it. In fact, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was my first ever Indiana Jones movies I have seen in theaters. The Dial of Destiny is my second Indiana Jones movies that I saw in theaters. And and listen, all five Indiana Jones movies, they're watchable. They're actually watchable. Sure, yes, those films do have their flaws, but those films also have fun, enjoyable moments. And of course, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Crystal Skull, and Dial of Destiny, yeah, yeah, they have flaws as well, but they're enjoyable as well. But those films were enjoyable as well. I liked all these films. Dial of Destiny is my second least favorite of the bunch. But anyway, moving forward, worst screenplay. You got The Exorcist Believer, The Expendables 4, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, otherwise known as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Can I Go Home Now? Sure you can. And take the dial with you. And then, of course, you have Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And that is the nominations. Now the films that were nominated. You got Expendables 4 with 7 nominations. And now with the films with multiple nominations for the Golden Raspberries, you got Expendables 4 with 7 nominations. Although it would have been funny was nominated for 4, but whatever. The Exorcist Believer and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey for 5 nominations. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Ant-Man and the Wasp with 4 nominations. Wow, DC and Marvel going head to head to see which film will win the Razzie Award. Ghosted and Meg 2 The Trench with 3 nominations. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Johnny and Clyde, Magic Mike's Last Dance, and The Pope's Exorcist nominated for 2 Golden Raspberries. And that ceremony will take place on March 9th, 2024, which is the day before the 96 Academy Awards. And that is it. Those are the nominations for the Razzies and the Oscars for 2024. So anyway, what did you think of these nominations? Do you think the nominations were good? Do you think the nominations were bad? Do you think some of these films deserve the nominations? I would like to hear your thoughts on this. But anyway, that is a wrap on this episode. So, thank you all for tuning into Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman. Remember to watch movies and stay positive.